is time. The World Cup starts in a little over a month, and it is time to predict the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. I'm going to start off with all the group stage predictions, and then based off of my group stage predictions, going to predict the knockout stage. So let's get right into it with Group A. So Group A, we have, moving on, Netherlands and Senegal, not moving on, Ecuador and Qatar. Netherlands, I think, is the obvious choice to win this group. The Pot B team that got lucky getting drawn into the Qatar pot, and obviously Qatar, as the host and at their first World Cup, are a massive underdog in this group. Maybe they'll get a bit of a home team boost. However, I feel like they've fallen off a bit in the past year, and so really have lost any real chance or momentum that they would have had to get into the knockout stage in their last couple months of play. Senegal versus Ecuador is going to be a tight matchup. I have an edge going to Senegal, though. They've just been a fantastic team over the past little bit. Ecuador, well, good, I think, just isn't up at Senegal's level. And Sadio Mane right now is just at another level compared to anyone Ecuador really has. Overall, Senegal just has a bit of a better team, and so they're my choice to move on ahead of Ecuador. Over to Group B. England, Wales, USA, and Iran. This is a very interesting one because England and the USA are both notorious underperformers at the World Cup. Add into that an Iran team that's looked quite good in recent months, and a Welsh team that really is a very interesting contributor in this group, and a team that really is looking to prove themselves at the world stage. I see England going top of the group. They're probably going to have some fumble at some point, but overall, just compared to the rest of the group, there's no real major threat for them. Wales, I have moving on in second. I feel like this is a Welsh team that has a lot of spunk and is really going to be playing to prove themselves at this World Cup. The USA I have coming in third. They've just been a little shaky in recent months. Their last friendlies were not good. I see this USA team falling out in the group stage, underperforming yet again at another World Cup. Iran potentially could come out of this group, but right now I have them in fourth, as I feel like that is the most likely spot for them to end up. Over to Group C. Group C, I'm going with Argentina, Mexico advancing, Poland, Saudi Arabia not. Argentina, I think, is the clear-cut top of this group. Messi's last World Cup, they're not going to want to let him down, and they are a team that very clearly should be in the knockout stage. Mexico, Poland is a very tight matchup. However, I have Mexico going on because it's Mexico, and the round of 16 in Mexico are kind of like two things that just go together. I think they have 7 straight round of 16 appearances in the World Cup. Mexico does, so, you know, Mexico always makes the round of 16. It's what they do. That leaves Poland as the odd one out of the three teams I think feasibly could make the knockout stage, and Saudi Arabia just is a step below any of the other teams in this group. I don't see them really posing a major threat. Over to Group D. Group D for Denmark. I have Denmark as my favorite to move on in this group in first place, followed by France, Tunisia, and Australia. Yes, I know France behind Denmark is a bit of a shock, but the World Cup champions curse is coming for France. It's been a while since a team that won the last World Cup made it to the knockout stage of the following one. However, for France, they get a bit lucky in that regard, as looking at their group, Tunisia and Australia, I don't see either of those teams really being upset material for France, even with the champions curse affecting France. I do think the champions curse is going to stop France from winning this group. I think Denmark recently has been a fantastic team. Really, really strong team at the international level Denmark has become. So I have Denmark ahead of France. Tunisia and Australia, just neither really on the level required to break through either of these Danish or French teams. Moving on to Group E. I have Spain and Germany moving on, Japan and Costa Rica not. Spain ahead of Germany because I feel like Germany's recent form hasn't been as great. Spain has a bit of an edge above them in the past year or so. Japan I really like as a team. I feel like in a lot of other groups, Japan would have a real solid shot at making their round of 16, but being in a group with both Spain and Germany just is really unlucky for the Japanese team. Costa Rica, history of being a bit of a nuisance at World Cups for bigger teams. You know, a group of Costa Rica and anything really could happen, especially with Keylor Navas still in net for Costa Rica. But I think barring any of that 2014 Costa Rica magic, they are going to end up bottom of the group. On to Group F. I have Belgium and Croatia moving on, Canada and Morocco being eliminated. I know, I'm eliminating Canada. The hype has failed. Belgium and Croatia are just two absolutely fantastic squads, and really in this group just are both a clear cut above of the competition. I have Belgium just as the slight favorite to come out ahead of Croatia for first place in the group. Canada has had a spectacular run in the past couple of years to make this World Cup, and I feel like against Morocco they should be able to get first World Cup points for Canada, at least a draw, probably a win against Morocco, especially if Ziyech is not there for the Moroccans. And Morocco's a solid squad, but I just don't think they can keep up with the star power that Canada has, and so that's the order I have for that group. On to Group G. Winning the group, I have Brazil with Serbia also moving on, Switzerland and Cameroon getting eliminated. Now, Brazil is just a world-class squad and a cut above everyone else in this group, easy first place. Serbia, Switzerland, that is going to be a hell of a matchup. We all know how Xhaka and Shaqiri on the Switzerland team feel about Serbia. They are not friendly with each other whatsoever. I do, however, have a slight edge going to Serbia. I just feel like the Serbian team has a bit more high-end talent, a bit more depth, especially given the ages of Xhaka and Shaqiri right now. For Switzerland, Cameroon I have coming bottom of the group. Again, I feel like they're just a cut below Serbia and Switzerland. And finally, for the group stage, Group H. Portugal, Uruguay moving on, South Korea and Ghana not. Portugal, I think, just edges out Uruguay. They are a bit of a deeper team, all around a bit more talented. Uruguay, however, very, very strong. South Korea, I like. If Sun goes Destroyer of Worlds mode, they could squeeze by one of Portugal or Uruguay. Sun has an absolutely world-class game and carries that team past one of the higher-ranked teams in the group in Uruguay or Portugal. Ghana, again, I think, is just slightly below the other three. South Korea should be able to beat them, and I don't see Ghana being able to do anything to do Portugal or Uruguay to come anywhere other than fourth. So with this group stage, the knockout round of 16 will look as follows. And so our round of 16 is, on one half of the bracket, Netherlands, Wales, Argentina, France, Spain, Croatia, Belgium, Uruguay. On the other half of the bracket, we have England, Senegal, Denmark, Mexico, Belgium, Germany, and Portugal, Serbia. So start things off on the left side here. Netherlands, Wales, the Dutch all around are just a stronger team. Wales is going to have had a much tougher group stage to get here. Wouldn't be surprised if they're a bit more worn down after the group stage than the Dutch team would be. I see the Netherlands moving on from this match. Argentina, France, a repeat of one of the best games from the 2018 World Cup, which France famously won. This time I see it going the other way. I think this is where the French World Cup champions curse is going to get to them. I think the Argentinians are going to come out very strong in the revenge game, and again, that World Cup champions curse is going to come for France at some point. It might as well be here. I have Argentina moving on. Staying Croatia, this would be another fantastic matchup. However, I do think this Croatian team is not as strong as the one that made the finals of the 2018 World Cup, and this Spanish side is a bit stronger than the one we had in the 2018 World Cup. This is going to be an incredibly close one, but I think Spain just has a bit more depth of talent on their team, and so Spain is my pick to move forward. Brazil, Uruguay in all South American battle, and I mean, just look at the last South American World Cup qualifiers. Brazil was the king. Bar Argentina, I don't think anyone else in South America right now is a real challenge for this Brazil squad. They should be able to quite handily take down Uruguay 9 times out of 10. So Brazil is my choice to move on. To the other side of the bracket, England, Senegal. England is a disastrous team to make predictions around because you know a collapse, a loss that should not happen whatsoever, is going to happen at some point. I am sorry, English fans, but history doesn't lie. And honestly, Senegal seems like exactly the type of team that would beat out England in a massive upset match. And in the name of not just playing it safe and going with the favorites in every single prediction, hate comment me now, I'm picking Senegal to go through. Denmark, Mexico. Well, we're at the round of 16, which means Mexico must go. Also, Denmark has been absolutely fantastic, are in a fantastic run of form as of late. Mexico is, just pretty average for Mexico, but they're not like incredibly in form or anything at this moment. Again, I think, I'm sorry Mexico, round of 16, 8 straight times, here we go, 8 straight eliminations in the round of 16 for Mexico is my prediction. Denmark is my choice to move through. Belgium, Germany, the beer battle if this game goes on. Germany's recent form not been very great. Belgium, well, I think this golden generation is starting to fade. It is probably their last chance to really do a massive World Cup or major tournament push with this golden generation. Basically in this matchup we have a below average for them, typically Germany team versus what is still Belgium's golden generation squad. I have Belgium moving on. And finally, Portugal, Serbia. Same reason why I have Portugal above of Uruguay is why I have them ahead of Serbia. Portugal is just a bit better in Serbia and almost every single way. They're just slightly got a bit more talent in most areas of the field and a bit more talent depth as well. I take Portugal moving on in this match. Netherlands, Argentina. I have big things coming out from Argentina for Messi's last hurrah. I think that they are slightly more offensively loaded than the Netherlands. I think they're more able to score goals than the Netherlands. Netherlands does have a strong defense, but I think that this Argentinian side is going to be able to break them down. I have Argentina moving on in this match. Spain, Brazil. A big matchup in this one. I have Brazil as my favorite to move on here. I feel like this Spanish team is a bit lower leveled than some Spanish teams we've seen in the past, and this is a Brazilian team that really is par for the course for Brazilian football. They are just a fantastic Brazilian squad throughout the CONMEBOL qualifiers, and so I feel like this Brazilian team is moving on to the semi-final. Senegal, Denmark. Yes, I think Senegal was able to upset England, but I don't think they'll be able to get past this Danish team. This Danish team really is just a fully together squad at this moment, pulling off some major upsets in the UEFA Nations League. They are a very good team, and I see them really having a solid push for the semi-finals. Belgium, Portugal. Again with Belgium, nearing the end of their golden generation, I think this is their last big push, and I think they're going to make a hell of a push for it. I think they still are one of the premier teams, if not the premier team in Europe, although ability to finish in massive tournaments is up in the air. I do see them being able to beat Portugal, though Belgium is going through. And so my semifinals would be a all South America semifinal and an all Europe semifinal. First off, Argentina, Brazil, a clash of South American titans. I think right now Brazil just has a slight edge. I mean, they had a slight edge throughout the qualifiers, and I think form over the past year, Brazil is slightly ahead of Argentina. In depth right now, Brazil is a slightly deeper team than Argentina, so my choice is Brazil out of this matchup. Denmark, Belgium. Denmark would have had a fantastic run to get to this point. However, going up against the Belgian team that was so close in 2018 and has been so close to so many major international tournaments recently. I think this is the one where they finally break through and make a final. Belgium is my choice for this matchup. And so that leaves us with a Brazil-Belgium final, and this would be a massive World Cup final. Two teams at the top of the FIFA World Rankings have world-class offensive talents, world-class talents all around. Two incredibly strong teams. However, I think that the 2022 FIFA World Cup winner will be Brazil. That's right, I think after 4 straight World Cups of European champions, it's going to go back to South America, and Brazil will reign supreme. So there you have it. There are my predictions for the FIFA World Cup. Go ahead and scream at me in the comments down below. I know I probably pissed off, let's see, about everyone in the world, about 300-ish million people. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, yeah, there you have it. As always, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Link is down below in the description, and I will see you next time.